So you have abandoned the lover. Does that mean that
That is
the
not a
lover...
final decision. That's just what
Okay,
I did this time. The final
okay,
decision
perfect.
regarding the lover involves more interaction with them and what happens
Okay,
after we reach the turning point.
okay, this is wonderful. So, you definitely sees something that is fleshy and is vitreous and squishy in your hand. And as you retract it from that gaseous darkness that was engulfing you, and you realize um, staining your very skin as if it was some black dust. You find yourself with an eye in your hand, one of the dragon's eyes. And it's looking at you, definitely seeing you still, with an inhuman, unfathomable hatred. The iris, just for color's purpose, is triangular shaped. The dragon's bellow of pain shakes the whole mountain, and you see jars. Now that, of course, the darkness is also dissipating, you see jars with their brains inside shatter at the scream. The creature swoops up and falls into one of the tunnels, leaving a trace of that same darkness, ink-like darkness, behind it as a measure of defense. It has retreated for now, but it will be back. And his attack, the darkness that clung to your body, is starting to make it lose consistency.
I see. Okay, I'm dissolving and fading. Excellent.
Yes,
Okay.
and you see the droplets of this darkness falling upwards.
Oh, interesting. Cool. Okay. So I love that. So with that going on, I believe you can take your die roll now. Is that your third
Yes.
die by any chance?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
And I roll a mighty 5.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that I hate your dice and I'm going to throw them over right now at the beginning of my go, which I'm allowed to do. So
Let's
we'll
roll them.
re-roll them.
And I get a 3, a 3, and a 1.
Okay. So
which will make you more comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but that permits me to, this ends the match. So now we compare the totals.
Yes.
So when I knock it over, it prematurely takes us immediately to the comparison of totals. So what is your total?
My total is 7.
Okay, my total is 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I look at I look now at the totals, which are right.
What page?
So the totals. It depends on the. I'm not using the same document you are, so I don't know about the page. But in the section called the climax, we now will look at my good dice, and so I am finding my dice that are higher than your lowest. Your lowest is a 1.
Yes.
So I have 3 dice that are higher. I really wish that I had 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I only have 3. So therefore, I only have 1 good effect in comparison to only 1 good effect in comparison, in addition to getting my goal. Because my total was higher, so I do get my goal. So now what am I going to choose? Oh, there are some very interesting things. Um, I'm going to uh, I am going to destroy the monster. That's what I choose.
Hmm.
So what this is going to, but we don't have to do that immediately. We have several. We can keep playing back and forth, and
Mhm.
especially if you want to bring in the lover or anything about that, then you can. But if the lover was at risk, which is up to you,
Mhm.
then the lover is going to die.
Hmm.
So we don't know much about that, but we have lots of room to play. We have no limit on the amount of back and forth we continue to do. So there's plenty of story left if you want there to be. We just know that I am going to slay that monster, and we know that I am going to get that goal.
Okay. So
I
it's my
am
go
not
now,
going
right?
to recover from the harm it has done in this adventure.
Mm-mm. I can see. So we know that you will kill the monster, you will be permanently injured, and you will get its heart. Okay. All the rest is on the table.
Unless now you should already know whether the lover was at risk. You should
Um.
have that in your head.
Yeah,
And
it's
if
my
they
frequency.
are, then it's also necessary for you to depict the death of the lover. Otherwise, the lover is up in the air for whatever may occur.
Well, I was thinking that not all the jars have been broken by the
Right. Mm-hmm.
the monster's scream. So
So,
therefore,
right. So now it is. That was at the beginning of my go, and so so I continue with.
hmm?
Do I do that? Let me check and see. It is at the beginning of my go that I can topple the tower. So I have done that. And then um, at the beginning of my go, this forces me to right and ends the match. And so the match continues and goes, and you get to go. You begin
Okay,
at this point because my go was completely taken by throwing over your dice.
okay. An eerie silence falls on this twisted lab. Shattered glass everywhere. It and almost all of the jars have been destroyed. Only few stand still intact. Amongst which after a while you hear a voice coming, the same voice that had talked to you before. You see, I told you, you should have heeded my warnings. Now its darkness will kill you unless you can still be saved, but you will need to trust me. Don't chase the dragon yet. It will come back to you. Its vengeance will be terrible, and you need me to face it again. Please, and awaits your response hesitantly.
All right. The Interesting. Okay. So I will speak to this brain, and I am going to say I am not interested in this piece of greasy meat. I am interested in you, the true you, and so I am going to the to basically take the jar, and I am going to it's going to dissolve in a blaze of power. And as I spread my arms open, then the person that had previously been that brain, or been only that brain, is revealed to me standing there in actual physical form. And I'm
Hmm.
going to say to this person, you will get describe them in a moment. Um, So I guess we are cutting just to my face, right? Because we're
Yes.
not going to see this person yet. But I am going to say, your concern is touching but unnecessary. I will deal with this monster easily and in my own way, and it is none of your concern. But none of the others spoke. None of the others had the power or the desires that you have. I can feel those desires. Desires are my area.
I love that. The creature in front of you takes shape from a purple glow of light that emanated from the solution, I think it is. Sorry, my English sometimes.
No, that's fine, yes.
Of its jar. It is it or she, probably she, is eerily beautiful with tentacles for hair, bluish, moist, and perfectly unnaturally smooth doll-like skin, and black on black eyes. She looks at you hesitantly, looks at her own body in disbelief, and embraces you and kisses you with passion.
Excellent.
As she does so, you realize that your body stops tickling away with this dripping mass of shadow. Black holes dot your skin where the darkness touched you.
Of course.
But it stopped.
Okay. Well, fair enough, because there's one thing I'm going to do, which is to return the embrace strongly, to give her the very clear knowledge of what an embrace with me can mean. And I will let that linger far, far longer than would seem practical. If my interest is in killing a monster, then to take time like this would be ridiculous. So for what seems like an endless moment, we are physically lost in emotion and sensation. But then it ends as I stride away.
And I say she collapses to the ground.
Exactly. And I say, your life is yours again. Make of it as you will. I have no doubt it will be beautiful. Forget me if you wish, but I will remember you. And proceed.
Latin lover.
Right, and spread my arms in its, with the bat-like power of and the of course my hair, it matches this gesture, and I am going to I have that eye heart thing, correct?
Yes.
Right, and here I will focus all my attention upon it. And it will transport me to the center of the dragon. And so I appear there in a shattering blaze with this power under my control.
The heart of the cave is made of gold.
Ah, yes, perfect.
And its shapes are nothing like you've ever seen before. The geometry of the non-Euclidean geometry.
I was really looking forward to the geometry. Go on, yes.
Of this chamber is disorienting and dazzling and jarring on its own. But the creature itself, at the center of its layer and power, assumes a completely different shape, even more incomprehensible than it was before. It's as if different shapes, creatures, parts twisted and melted and danced into one form, changing, ever changing, and you're unable to fix your gaze on it because of how it's hypnotic dance looks like. And you start to feel your limbs to grow weary and heavy